Already flooding along two major waterways in the Quad Cities area. Neighbors are bracing for the annual flood season, but say it's getting harder to keep up. The Rock River just reached major flood stage today at about 14.3 feet. It is expected to crest at 16.3 feet this weekend. Local 4's Tahera Rahman spoke with neighbors in flood-prone areas along the Rock River today and joins us now in our studio with why they say their flood time routines are starting to expand. Tahera?
Tiffany, I spoke with about a dozen neighbors along South Shore Drive in Moline today. Much of it is impassable due to the rising waters, and this is how many of them have to get home now, and they say it's becoming a more common routine. This isn't part of Brad Logger's normal commute home, but it's become part of his seasonal routine.
Price you got to pay for oceanfront property.
Logger lives on South Shore Drive in Moline.
When the water gets up a little higher, I'll just boat out. But we're not to that point yet, so it's just I have no choice but just to walk.
He says the river walk has become more frequent over the last few years.
My dad lived here for many of years, and he lived here for 8 years, and I never once ever had to walk in or out or to visit him or that. But since I've lived here, just last year alone it was 5 times it flooded.
About a dozen other neighbors we spoke to agree. This family has had property on South Shore since the 1940s. The owner says she's had to break out the sandbags more over the past 4 years. So far this year, neighbors have already marked one of the nastiest floods they've ever seen.
When it flooded and then it froze, and then we had ice on the road, they made a big difference. That was the worst it's ever been.
But after 8 years, Logger says he's not giving up his oceanfront property just yet.
It doesn't bother me. I will continue to live here and go through this.
Now, one neighbor I spoke with today says she plans to evacuate tomorrow morning. The Rock River is expected to crest Saturday night. In the studio, Tahera Rahman, Local 4 News.